So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back, and what we're going to do is we're going to add, again, I don't care how you do it, what you want to do, but what we're going to do is I'm going to leave the titles alone. Don't have the titles come in. You can do that on a PowerPoint, your PowerPoint that you want to do animation-wise, but always, if you do put an animation on this, I would always suggest that your title come in first. Now your clip art can come in, or your pictures can come in first if you want to, but it's always a good idea to have the title come in first so your audience knows what you're going to be talking about. But what you're going to do with the rest of this is I want an effect added to your text, your content here. And again, I went ahead and clicked on the dotted line. When I click on this, I'm going to click on the dotted line to make it a solid and add an effect. Now I'm going to do this fairly quickly. I'm just going to use a standard one. I'm just going to have it come in, ascend in, and it's going to come in right now after this. Again, on your content, depends. Do you want your content to come in before your picture, or do you want the picture to come in before it? Again, it doesn't really matter at this point. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and do this again. I'm going to click on this, add an effect, entrance, ascend, go to this one. Oops. I'm going to add an effect to this, ascend. This one, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to add an effect. I'm going to make it ascend. Go to this one. I'm going to ascend it. Again, you can do as crazy as you want. You want them all come in different ways, but I'm trying to complete this, so I'm just getting done. Now, in different PowerPoints, it also depends on your audience and what you're doing. Maybe you don't want to add a bunch of animations in that. It depends on what kind of presentation you're giving or who you're giving it to. If it's for a bunch of kids and that kind of stuff, you want it to be fun and lively, yeah, add animations. But animations, too many animations can be distracting and you can lose the main point. In this case, our main point here is just to have a little fun. Now, if you're doing a business meeting or that, maybe you don't add as many animations. Now, some business presentations will add animations like arrows coming up, making you draw your attention to maybe a graph or something like that. Or the animations can be brought in to also keep from boredom of the audience. So I've got all these different animations. We've already got all our animations on this, so I'm going to save this. Now, if you notice, I have this window that pops up, and all this says is it says Microsoft Office PowerPoint Compatibility Checker. Well, remember at the beginning we saved it as a 97-2003 PowerPoint. Well, when we did that on slide 7, I added a different type of word art. So that one's not, that kind of word art isn't on the older version. It is the newer version of PowerPoint, but not the older version. So that's what it's saying. The shape and any text in it cannot be edited when using earlier versions of PowerPoint. So it's going to show up. It's just not going to look right. But it'll be all right. Trust me on this. So all you have to do is click on Continue. And there we go. Now we're saved. Now on our first slide, our title slide here, I have not added any text or any pictures or any animations. To me, a title slide in for my classwork. Now when you do your own in somebody else's class, or when you start doing them on your own for a job or whatever, you can add animations or pictures. For me, I don't like pictures. I wanted the attention of the audience right on what the purpose of this PowerPoint is and who's presenting it. So I want to make sure that I don't add any animations or anything to that. Now the only animation I'm really going to add is a transition. We have not done a transition yet, and I really firmly believe you should have transitions between each slide. So what I'm going to do is go back to my animations, and you can see all your different animations that are up here. My favorite one is the dissolve, but as you can see, if you hit that little, it looks like an eject button, you can see all the different animations that are there. Now if you want to get really creative, you can add a different transition for every single slide, but I just really like the dissolve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on dissolve. You can see it was fairly quick. I don't like that. I want to be able to see it. So what I'm going to do is click on slow here, and there it is. Now you can also add the sound to it if you want. I'm not going to. It becomes more annoying than anything to me. So I'm not going to add the sound to it. But as you can see, when we go to slide sorter view, it's not there. We should have right here underneath, it says play animation. Each one of these have an animation, but you got to put your pointer over top of it and it'll play the animation. Okay, so right now I have an animation for the transition only for slide 1, because if I go to slide 2 and I click on this, as you can see, it's just for your ship. I'm going to stop this. So what I'm going to do is go back to slide 1, and I have that animation here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to click to apply to all. I'm going to click on that. Anytime you do a transition or anything like this, even with the advanced slide, you should apply it to all, unless, like I said, you're going to change the animation from different slides. I just like uniformity of a dissolve throughout the whole thing. Alright, so now we've got our different animations, our different transitions. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to go to design. When I go to design, like I showed you at the beginning of this, it will start changing your slide to see it. Okay, so what I'm going to actually use, I kind of like this look. There's a couple of looks, but I like this look right here. So I'm going to click on this one. And when I click on it, it changes all my slides now. As you can see, it's all right there. Now, as you see right here, you can see first winter. It pops up. What you also have to worry about, when I change my design, did it affect my writing where I can't see it? Maybe my pictures now are over top of my writing. And from what I'm seeing on mine, it's not. If it did on yours, you may have to move this text box so that it doesn't show up. And we can see in a different one that maybe it will affect it. Maybe I go to this one and I click on it again, so you can see I've moved it. Also, there's one, it should be, let's see if this one affects. Yes, you'll see now it's gone. Where did it go to? Well, it shows that all my subtitles are going here at the bottom. So I'll probably need to click on those subtitles and move them to the top, because it really doesn't work, because the subtitle is actually behind here. So that one's not really a good one for me to use unless I want to move, like I can move this out of the way, then I can move this up so that's more up at the top. But I really don't want to do that. Just a lot more work than what I'm really prepared to do. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to do the one that I like. I also like that one. I'm going to use this one. It works well. Nothing is hidden. This one's not affected. Everything looks good on it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and save that. There is one other issue that I have, and again, it's Compatibility Checker. I'm going to click Continue. Is on this slide 4, my writing here, my text, I can't really see it. So I can do a couple of things with the way this picture looks. It might be better to kind of move it down here at the bottom where you can see it a little bit clearer. Or if you want to leave it towards the top, it's completely up to you. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the outside. I can highlight it to change the font color, or I can click on the outside and make that so it's no longer a dotted line. And now I'm going to go to font. I can make it a red font. That's not really good. I can choose different colors. I can go to blue. Again, this might not necessarily be a good spot because it really gets lost. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move it back down to the bottom. I think that's going to be the best for us. And then maybe I change it to a darker blue or a more brilliant blue. That looks really good. We'll make sure the red doesn't look half bad on this. Really, it doesn't look bad. The red doesn't look bad. But choose a color that works. Maybe I want it to look more orangey like that one. And I can choose like this and charge it, or a yellow. But I really think the red, of all the colors that we've got, work really, really well. So I want to use the red so that it shows up a little bit more brilliant. So that shows up right there. So now I'm going to Control S it, so I save it all. Click Continue. I like the Compatibility Checker to go ahead and show up so that you understand what is going on. Now now I have all of my slides completely finished. So now what I want to do is I kind of want to see what it looks like as a slideshow. So what I'm going to do is you can go up to View and up to Slideshow. You can click on from beginning. But there's a shortcut to that. And I love shortcuts. I don't like keep on clicking on the mouse doing all that. So what it is, it's just simply F5, not key F and then 5, but at the very top of your keyboard you'll see a key that actually has an F5 on it. So if I press F5, right there it is. So it starts popping up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click. You've also got down here at the bottom, you've got all these different little things that you can use. This is going to go back. This will go forward for your arrow. This is a little, you can do highlighter, you can mark on it. I can change it to a felt tip pen and I can start writing on my PowerPoint. Okay, if I want to. I'm not going to, so let's get rid of it. I can erase. I should be able to erase it. I'm going to go back to my arrow and then erase all ink. So I got rid of it. Alright, so let me just click, because I got it on mouse click. And it goes to slide number 2. And as you see, nothing's coming in because I got those set on entering. So my first thing should be my ship. And again, maybe on this one, it would have been more effective to have the text in there first instead of the boat coming in first. That might have been a possibility. That might be better. Again, you don't know those kinds of things until you start doing it. Now I click again, land. There comes my people, and there's my content. First winner pops up, and that does look really good. That pops up, yeah, you can see that clearly, so that's good. Click again. Now remember, even though this doesn't look like it has animation, if I click, there we go. And then I'll bring in my writing. Now, if you saw, there is an issue. I never had it shrink. So it's covering up part of that. So I need to go back in, and this is where, if I need to stop the slideshow immediately where I want it to, I want to hit escape, and I'm on this slide. So what I need to do is on that effect, maybe, just maybe, I need to change that effect. So, the emphasis, instead of grow, maybe I just want it to spin. Now let's go back to where I was, and the easy way of doing that is going down here to slideshow at the very bottom next to where you have your zoom in key. I bring it in, now I click on it. Now it spins, and now I bring in that. Now I don't have any problems of this picture being over any of my content. There again, I brought that in. There goes the sun, and down and back. And then in comes my writing right there. My content's in. And everything's right there. And you have to watch your content. Make sure nothing's getting caught up. My G's are a little bit lower. Maybe I need to bring that up a little bit. So I can bring that text box up just a little bit. Now let's go back. And maybe I want to change the timing on this text box, and I want to change it to, instead of on the click, I can make it after previous. So now what I can do is, now I'm going to go back and look at it in my slideshow. There goes the sun, and when the sun leaves and sets, now it comes in my content. So that's good. Now go and click again. My blank slide, in comes my turkey, my people. Happy Thanksgiving. And then I click, and I'm done. There's the end of the slideshow. So as you can see, even when you've got it all constructed, during the slideshow, you've got to preview it to make sure everything works the way you want it to work. And then you're happy with it. Then you're finished. That's the only way. You've got to work through it. Now on the next projects that you will do, once you get this one done and make sure everything's working, you need to read through the rubric and make sure that everything I'm asking you to do, it does. That means I would construct it all first and then go back and use the rubric and grade it yourself. So I hope this really works for you and you understand. But if you do have any questions, feel free to ask me in class, or you can email me or go to my website and email me through my website. I'll be more than happy to answer any kind of questions that you have so that I can get it taken care of for you, and that you're having fun doing PowerPoints. I really do hope that you learned a lot. And again, if you want to go beyond your learning, you can always play with the different ribbons up there and the different stuff. And if you do have questions, more advanced questions, yeah, feel free to ask me. I have no problems answering those. So again, I hope you enjoyed this lesson and that you learned a lot on that. So thank you.